Alright guys, Thomas Bird here with Tabletop Life. It's been a while. We've been running around crazy trying to do lots of things. Team tournaments, new armies, the whole 9 yards. We got a lot of content coming for you. But I want to take a break and come back to the boys in blue. I've missed them. I've been playing Sisters for the last, seems like 2 months. Cramming them in, trying to play. And I can't wait to play some Ultramarines. So I have concocted a new list. It's got some jump pack guys, Vanguard Veterans. Not probably the best use in Ultramarines, but I'm going to take them for a spin today because I got some cool models I want to use. Also, I have Eradicators. I really hate Eradicators, but I need some Strength 8. There's Buggies, there's Planes. Maybe they'll work, maybe they won't. I'm not playing those lists today, so we'll just see. We're going to be playing Necrons. But let's go over the list real quick. As always, we'll put the lists in the description, so if you want to see more details, look there. We got 2 patrols and a Supreme Command. So Supreme Command Warlord is going to be Guilliman himself. Chaplain over here, he's going to be rocking the Wise Orator trait. I have been taking that off most lists, but it's come back. I'm tired of rolling not 3s, so I'm going to let him roll 2s for his litanies. +1 to hit, +1 to wound. Got 1 unit of Infiltrators with the Helix. I got a big 10-man Vanguard Veterans squad with Thunderhammer, Lightning Claw, and the Sergeant, and then everyone else with Storm Shields and Lightning Claws. Some cool bits from Pop Goes the Monkeys. Look at those shields. Fantastic. 1 unit of Walking Devastators. No points for pods here. 3 Gravs and 1 Multi-Melta. We have the Super Apothecary. He's got the Vox, so he's got the 6-inch Feel No Pain. Second Patrol is going to be led by Tigurius. We got 2 units of Victrix Guard. 1 10-man of Intercessors with the Assault Auto Bolters. 2 Grenade Launchers. Sarge is out of point, so he only has a chainsword. 1 unit of Hell Blasters. Sergeant's going to have Master Crafted. These are assault ones. They are one of my favorite units. They do a lot of work. And Eradicators. These are heavy meltas and then 1 multi-melta. So we'll see if they're slow, plodding nature. We'll let them even get a shot off. Let's go see what our opponent is playing.
Hi everybody, it's Walter Langendorf, a friend of the Tabletop Life gang, and I have a glorious Necron army to lead to inevitable victory today. This list is absolutely dominant, and Thomas doesn't stand any kind of chance against it. And you might wonder how I could believe that, and the answer is that I was hypnotized yesterday and was never snapped out. I have 1 battalion, and joined to it, I have a super heavy auxiliary. The leader of the battalions is this Overlord, who I'm hoping will resemble the Overlord who is coming out in the story tomorrow, the Black Library book. He has a War Scythe, the Veil of Darkness, and the Madness trait, where Warlord trait, where he rerolls wounds in melee combat. Then there is a Technomancer, an older model. He has the Voltaic Staff and the War Gear where he gives +1 to the attacks of Canoptech models within 6 inches. Going back here, I have the old Tesla Immortals, come back from their days of glory for 1 more stab, followed by some Gauss Immortals, except 1 member of the unit, this guy here, has kept his Tesla in case I need them to trigger Malevolent Arcing. I've got a 20-man Warrior Brick with the new Gauss Reapers, which I think everybody agrees is kind of the way. I've got 2 units of Tomb Blades using Particle Beamers, which are the Walter specialty. They have no war gear other than that, just Particle Beamers. In the back, I've got a pair of Triarch Stalkers. They're not part of my Mephrit dynasty, but are always ready to give Thomas a bad time, and I can spend a CP to make them explode, which he will always forget. Then I've got these 2 Canoptech Doomstalkers. Now you'll note that Thomas teched for me with all those meltas, but I didn't tech for him. These are anti-vehicle weapons. They're going to have a terrible time against him, but I understand why he teched for me, because he's so intimidated by my final choice, the Obelisk. Everyone is trembling about AdMech planes nowadays except me, because I know no Necron list with an Obelisk has ever lost to an AdMech plane list, and you can take that to the bank. Given that fact, and the fact that they've also never lost to an Ultramarine list, this game is in the bag. What you're going to watch is the surgical unfolding of my plan for victory over the course of the next 5 turns.
All right, gang, we've got our armies talked about. Let's talk about the table and the mission and the secondary. So we're playing Warzone Atlanta, player place terrain, so we don't know what side we're on yet. We are playing sweep and clear. You kind of see we had to go back and forth placing terrain. We were trying to offset each other, trying to keep objectives in the open, trying to keep objectives covered up. I think the table is fairly even. So we're going to roll for sides. Let's go and roll for it. Ultramarines roll a 5 and a 4, so I get to pick the side. I'm going to take that side over there. We are playing Sweep and Clear. Sweep and Clear is this mission. Yes, Direct Assault. So let's talk about secondaries. Ultramarines are taking Oaths of Moment, surprise, surprise, with Direct Assault. So I want to be in that middle holding it, and then we'll try to get Stranglehold. Walter with his Necrons are going to take Purge Vermin, so keep me out of his quarters. Grind them down. He's going to kill more. What? I only have 5 units. And then Rod, retrieve Octarius data. So that's the secondaries. We're going to come back after we're deployed and see who goes first. You going to talk about this terrain?
Yeah, when Thomas said that this terrain was even for both sides, he was being needlessly optimistic. This is a coffin where the Ultramarines will be laid to rest. They have nothing resembling a chance. If I'd taken this side, the obelisk would be here, right here, with a view of all 3 areas that he has to occupy to get his stranglehold. Executed. He'd be already done. Since I didn't, I have to use a second extremely well-placed thing. But that's fine. My plan can handle losing a dice roll-off or 2. He's also taken a series of extremely good secondaries where he's probably going to get more points than me. And you might think, Walter, he's already outplaying you, but you need to be thinking about it in the opposite direction. I let him have that because I'm going to beat him so badly on primary that it will not matter. This battle ends with Roboute falling before the guns of the obelisk. I'm calling it right here. I'd point out the area of the board where it'll happen, but that would be a waste of time because you're going to see it in a few hours.
All right, guys, we've done our deployment. I've got nothing in reserve. I combat squatted my 10-man jump pack squad of Vanguard Vets, so 2 5-mans. I am at 8 CP. Walter's put 1 5-man Immortal squad in reserves, walking on, so he's down to 9 CP. Here we are, the deployment. I pretty much stacked everyone behind this ruin, all the sea of blue guys all mixed in. We've got a few tricks here, knowing that we can redeploy. These guys are seemingly in harm's way. Walter, though, has stacked this edge here quite heavily to try to get angles. We know there's a tight gap there. So he's going to be able to shoot some stuff. I got my character screened by Victrix guard, so he won't be able to shoot there. He does have some bikes tucked in here. But we both kind of have some pockets to hide guys, so he'll have to push pretty far around if he wants to see, unless those bikes really jump around. You still have the veil on one guy?
Yes, the Overlord has the veil.
Overlord has the veil, so he can jump around if he wants to. Any commentary from Walter before we get started? We know the Seal of Oath is going to go on the big obelisk. We can't let that thing run around. Nobody likes that thing.
I think it's important to say at this time that Thomas moved Roboute after placing him during the thing, so I've already spiritually won this game in terms of it would have been forfeit in a tournament setup. But I think the real thing to observe is how Thomas's tactics have made it extremely predictable. There's no way you do not see characters on this thing hidden by bodyguards on this thing, and characters up there hidden by bodyguards up there. It's his only trick. He does it every time. When you're up against a predictable enemy, one of the best things to do is take advantage of it. I knew that he would show up without a painted army, so I'm already 10 points up at this moment. That's the kind of strategy we're dealing with here. 11th dimensional. I'm just trying to roleplay Necrons properly, whereas he, Roboute Guilliman, is leaving these soldiers to die in the face of super heavy power. There's no possible way that they survive, and that's just unsightly. That's the sort of thing that makes the Emperor want to get up off his throne and retake his empire from his terrible Primarch son, who is cowering behind his bodyguards while his soldiers get mowed down like mice beneath a lawnmower.
All right, Walter had just won the roll to go first. He was complaining and lamenting he always goes first. He wants to go second, and lo and behold, he rolled to go first. Joke's on him. Actually, I wanted to go first because Ultramarines really want to go first. My plan for these guys, since they're just standing out in the open, was to go first, start my command phase on this objective so I can control it, and then run behind the wall and get away. But now I'm not going to be able to because I'm going to redeploy and get them out of there. I could have just hit them here and just been safe, but now I have nobody there. I do have to get Stranglehold and Oath, but going second, that makes that way easier. So I'm going to do my redeployments, and then we're going to come back after Walter's first turn of movement. All right, we're here. Walter has done his movement. He's about to shoot me. I thought I was safe from grind. I didn't want the spider to be able to see me. I thought I had closed that angle here. but just by the skin of his teeth, somehow he can see me just over the top. So he did move his bikes up, which I wasn't sure if he was going to do that. So hopefully those Victrix guard live, but they're in a precarious position. Over here, everyone advanced. So he can get on this objective. A couple guys were in the forest. They advanced and moved slow. These guys stepped over the wall and then did rod, and then he just shuffled some guys into the behind that ruin. So here we go. He's trying to get the angles to prevent me from just hanging out in the center. See what he's doing. And then for Victrix, we don't want him to get grind. What are your thoughts, Necrons?
My thoughts are that at the end of my move phase he talks, and at the end of his move phase he talks. I feel like the format is set up to favor the Imperium. Anyway, I'm going to hit these guys with my tank, so I'll reroll ones. They're hitting on twos because they got blessed by the king. I'm going to put a billion shots into him. He'll fail enough 2+s to do it, and I'll put some mortal wounds on them just to make sure. This unit, I expect, is overkilled. We'll see, but that's going to be my 1 for grind. That's not going to be enough to get grind. He's going to take that off me. That thing over there is measuring from its hull onto that objective. So the objective is actually held by 2 vehicles, not just the one. And you can't easily see it, but hiding behind that thing is my ace in the hole, my second arrow, if you will, a Canoptek Doomstalker. And given that guy his +1, that dude, Technomancer. That's the kind of power and genius you're dealing with here. So let's see how things go in my shooting phase.
All right, end of turn, shooting. There was just those 2 things to shoot. Poor Victrix, they fell down. At the last second, I was thinking about moving this Apothecary over here just to put them a little bit far forward, which would happenstance put them in 6 up for no pain. We went ahead and played like I had it just in case to see if it would have mattered. I died by 1 wound because I forgot he had the mortal wounds. I always forget. So I transhumaned him, tried to keep him alive. I didn't minus them hit, even though I was going to, and I didn't. Everything that could have went wrong, and they died. So poor Victrix. We never want to get those guys up early. He's killed 1 thing, so I got to at least kill 1 thing for grind. It's going to be interesting. Can we kill the big things? What does Walter have to say? He always has to say.
Once again, he tried to just do his commentary and then skate without letting the other player talk. I'm vigilant. I am on to you, Thomas. So killing 1 thing is not going to be enough for grind. But psychologically speaking, taking away a bodyguard unit is a mortal blow to Thomas's incredibly cowardly porcupine playstyle where everybody surrounds the bodyguards. Now he only has 1 unit of them. He brings a spare because I always do this to him. But you'll see, I have this zone, and I have this stuff over here, and I got those guys back there, and I'm going to lose a lot more than 1 thing on his shooting turn. It's going to be really ugly. But after that, I will use Radio Static, and then dominate. So, prepare.
All right, Ultramarines movement is done. We had to use a CP to re-roll an advance roll to make it onto this objective. I wanted to use this unit to just jump up there, but I needed them to do some assault since he pushed up so far, and I also needed direct assault, so I'm kind of like a little bit out of sorts there. But I did just make it with my toe, so I'm going to get Stranglehold this turn. I have everyone in the bubble, so there's a lot of management of bubbles. It's always tricky with this army. You got the Apothecary giving everyone a big radius of 6 inch feel of pain. We're about to cast Psychic Power, so everyone will have invulnerable save here in the crew. We got the guys got both litanies off, +1 to hit and +1 to wound on the Eradicator, so they got their eyes on Big Papa there. We moved the Multi-Melta in as well, so he can shoot. Grav guys can also shoot since it's gigantic. Intercessors moved up so they could shoot at some warriors. Maybe they can kill them, probably not, but we're going to try to thin the herd. And Hellblasters are going to try to kill them, but they advanced and they're -1 to hit, so they're just going to have to roll 4s, the 4 life. So hopefully they don't die. I think that's it. We'll come back after the shooting's done and see what Walter has left. But
So Thomas has fallen into my trap, and I'm now beginning to turn over my trap card. His fixation on the obelisk, the shadow of which is driving him mad, will be his downfall. The warriors may very well be dauntlessly sacrificed for the greater glory of the Necrons, and the bikes are actually in a lot of peril because Thomas rerolls like it's going out of style. But I am still very optimistic that once all those things have happened, he will have a stroke or something, and I will become the victor of the game by divine providence. That's the plan.
all right, the damage was done. That was pretty nasty. So as expected, Eradicators eradicated with no save, -5 on the Meltas in the Devastator Doctrine, and full seal of oath, +1 to hit, +1 to wound. Devastators came in hot. our eradicators came in hot and did like 40 something wounds. The thing died like it was nothing. I was like, oh, that was nice. Intercessors forgot to go into tactical doctrine, so they're just shooting AP nothing shots into warriors that were minus to hit in the forest, and I advanced. It didn't really matter because Walter couldn't roll a 4 to save his life. I went ahead and spent 2 CP to shoot twice. He survived with 2 guys when all the dust was settled. Luckily, he rolled some get back up. He rolled 5 guys, but so he like strung them all the way back to be next to that Cryptek. So hopefully he can grow some guys back next turn. But he will have to take some morale. Over here, the Hellblasters, they needed, out of their 9 shots, they needed 9 wounds. They only rolled 8. So he grew 1 bike back. And then Guilliman shot and killed one of those bikes. So he only has 1 bike. So he's got 2 morale tests to take. I do need to make an assault. He had thought about stretching his guys onto the objective, but these Vanguard Veterans were craftily placed to protect that. So I'm safe. I'm now going to do my charge here on the spider, and hopefully he doesn't kill me. And then we'll be back. All right, before I hand this off to Walter, let him give his comments on his turn. These guys made the charge. They did a lot of wounds. He didn't save very many at all. He only saved 1, actually, so he took 7 wounds. He fought back. He smushed 1. Then we went on to morale. These guys auto-passed, so they're going to be alive. Warriors over here, they failed their morale test and lost 2, so they only got 4 left. But they are next to the Cryptek, so they're going to grow some guys back, and he's next to his boss there. Try to res orb. So score-wise, looking at it before we go to it, I picked up the full oath because I killed that vehicle. I got direct assault because I'm on the center, and I got 3 objectives and strangling. Purge, he doesn't score this turn. I did kill more, so he's not grinding, but he did get his rod. So, Walter, any commentary before we go into turn 2?
Mostly everything shook out exactly as I foretold. The dice malfunctioned on me pretty hard that turn, which is always rough. But you know, Necrons are about being back, so it would be a little cliche to be dominant from the beginning. The Necron way is to fall behind at the beginning and then make a enormous comeback in the 5th or even 6th turn of the game. So that's what you should keep your eyes peeled for. Notice his command points are down to 2, and I have uncontested ownership of 2 objectives, essentially dominating him. At this point in time, if he were to concede, I would accept it. Alright, so I took 10 off the primary. I brought in some dudes to rod his quarter, that's retrieve Octarius data. I'm going to destroy these guys in the middle, I hope, with the bike unit back there. I'm going to use the 2 main guns to target his big massive soldiers over here, but that's going to be thwarted for the most part because he has given them a 5-up invulnerable save. I let him go back in time and do that. He actually skipped it in this turn, but I'm just that nice kind of a guy. So I am taking the center off him with some OPSEC soldiers, but obviously they're not going to last. We're trying to limit his mobility at this point in time, but all these new jetpack soldiers are making it very difficult. But we'll see how things go when my turn grinds through to its inevitable conclusion. Goal of this turn is to clear the center and do some damage to his blob. I have claimed the top left objective, so until he takes it, it will be mine, even without my models needing to stay there with the special rule of this thing. But he's going to be claiming this back left objective at the same time. And of course, we both claimed our own objectives. Alright, so I'm giving it back. Alright, so this turn went pretty satisfactorily. I killed his Eradicators in the back there. I killed his Vanguard Vets in the center, but unfortunately I was unable to devote any time to firing on these Intercessors. I have drained him down to just 1 CP because he's been relentlessly using his good powers. I've now rotted 2 zones, which is a good feeling, but is not as good as rotting more zones. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. I've claimed back the half of the board that he took, but unfortunately for me, he's the one getting points for doing it. His secondaries are really probably going to be a problem, which you might have recalled earlier I said was just not going to be a problem. I was lying earlier. Now, more sincerely, it's a definite problem.
All right, here we are, folks. Here we are. Turn 2. The Ultramarines have moved. A lot of moving. One big dilemma. Well, there's multiple dilemmas Walter has given me. How many guys can I kill? I need to kill 2 things to tie it. These guys were my biggest dilemma. I put them in guerrilla tactics, so I was going to sneak in his backfield, 1 to stop Purge and 1 to threaten one of his back objectives. But I'm looking at this backboard as I move up, and I'm like, there's a giant hole here. he's got a character with the veil. If I don't kill that character, or if I kill him and he gets back up, he could potentially jump back here. So I was like, that could be bad. I have infiltrators. I have to bring them back. So they spent a CP just to come back to where they basically were. I hate it when that happens. These guys are going to shuffle up. We're going to hopefully get rid of those guys. I really wanted to shoot bikes, but I can't have them stealing my objective. Here we are. There's the character. We got to get rid of him and Veil. And there's a spider there, so maybe we can get 2 for 1. We got Intercessors. They got the full power. This rune is kind of really blocking me. I want to use these warriors for a slingshot to move. But I don't know. Tigurius is way over there, so we need normal saves. But we'll shoot first, and then we'll come back and see what's left.
All right, so you'll notice he's got his chaplain back here. The important thing is Thomas has forgotten that he can claim objectives and just keep holding them. So he's still putting models on objectives, like a total rube. That's how in his head I am. These guys are blocking against an attack that's never going to come. That's more Ultramarines out of the fight, just by pure skill over here. I'm like galaxy braining him. He's got an entire unit of Hellblasters, and they're about to shoot Immortals behind the woods. That's the level of dominance that's happening in this game. Now, you might notice that his score is going higher than mine, but sometimes it's like judo. You don't want your score to be higher if that's how it works in judo. And if it isn't, it's like golf. You want your score to be lower to surprise them later when it becomes higher. He's got Guilliman finally moving into the center. You may recall that I prophesied that Guilliman would die at the hands of the Canoptic Doomstalkers. See them there, drawing a bead. If those pesky bodyguards weren't there protecting him, he'd die this very turn. But they are there, so he's probably not gonna. He's about to experience a turn of great failure. I've foreseen it. And if he doesn't, then this talk was just psychological warfare to prepare for the next turn when the true turn of failure will happen for him.
All right, we're end of shooting. Very lackluster in my what I was planning. Hellblasters, they did the business. They hated wasting all their bullets, but they did. Barely, because they weren't in the full rerolls, but they still managed to do it through the forest. Over here, we shot all the gravs and Melta's in point-blank range into the spider. He popped the 4-up invulnerable save and proceeded to make all of them. And then these guys were like +1 to hit and +1 to wound. We don't want to shoot the warriors because we want to charge them, and we don't want to make Guilliman not be able to charge. So we're going to shoot the spider and maybe pop a few wounds down there. We ended up killing a couple of bikes, and then the spider made all the wounds, all the saves. So he made like 8 or 9 in a row, 4-ups, like a boss. Now it's time for charging. We got to take care of business over here. Everybody's going to walk into the spiders and get punched. I don't know what's going to happen. They're not going to be able to kill it, apparently. I don't have a hammer here. Points. He's got a chainsword. Oh, no. But Walter reminded me that I can leave this objective, so now these grav guys can charge too. So everyone's coming up. All right, Guilliman did the action. Took those guys out. These guys piled in and touched that objective, so he doesn't control that anymore. Didn't really need to be on it, so I just kind of pulled back onto that guy to fight him. I actually got some wounds on him with no AP. Take 2 wounds, Spider. Over here, Vanguard Veterans. They did the melt-a-bomb. Who sees melt-a-bombs? I did it. It did 4 mortal wounds on that spider with 6 wounds, and then I punched him, and I killed him. He did not explode. I killed that Lord. He got back up with the CP on a 4+, so he's still alive. That is it. I scored points. Let's see. I killed a character. Even though he came back, it still counts. I got direct assault, and I strangled. I picked up 10 on the primary, so that's the end of my turn 2. He did not grind, but he did get his second rod, so I'll go ahead and mark those, and we'll give it to Walter, and then he'll start his next turn.
All right. So obviously, Purge Vermin is in some danger. He's pushing into my territory. The goal of this turn is going to be to get rid of these Vanguard Veterans as well as these Intercessors, and that's asking an awful lot of some dwindling shooting. But this is my fallback and shoot turn. I forget the name of the protocol, so that's useful. This character who resurrected is very important for this process. He's still alive, so we still have our protocols. He is going to veil these guys, and they are going to rod somewhere. So I will get my 3rd rod. 4th may not be on the table in this particular game, but 3 is at least 8 points. The secondary gap is real. Combine that with the primary gap for the fact that he's going 2nd, which almost ensures him 15 in the last turn, and we're looking at a lost game here, boys. Thomas has left the room, so I'm being a little more sincere than usual, but the game isn't quite over yet. Thomas has screwed up many games in his time, and I remain hopeful that he'll screw this one up as well. So I opened fire exactly like I said, annihilated this swath of his veterans, just totally destroyed them all. Future Ultramarines will be unmentored because there's no veterans to accomplish it. And over here, all but one of the Intercessors has fallen before the might of the Canoptic Doomstalkers. They were moving forward to scavenge the ruins of the obelisk, and they fell into my trap. But that last one might live, and it's all going to be down to the morale. He has to roll a 1 on his morale to not flee. He has no CPs to reroll or fix. Just got to hit the 1.
Come on, Guilliman, reroll. Oh man, down.
And that is exactly why the Necrons are dominant. It's because even if we don't win, the enemy, as an Ultramarine who ran from combat, they will always remember the terror of this moment. The shadow of the obelisk.
All right, bottom of turn 3, Ultramarines. Running out of guys. I did not want to lose those 10 guys, but I could not make it in a vulnerable save. I misplaced Tigurius, so I just took -3s and minus a lots in the face, and they just died. That was unfortunate. I could have wrapped that spider doing work, falling back and be able to shoot. I would not count on that. Hurt. But now we are on to the next turn. I'm going to try to thin these bikes out. These guys moved up. There are some bikes inside that ruin, so I got to make sure they go away. But I'm also going to try to thin these guys out. Guilliman here. I've got the Devastators here. The Chaplain did not cast any litanies. He ran up. So I still have the option to spend my last CP to give them a buff. I don't know if I need to or not. Probably not worth it. Though hitting on 2s would be nice. I don't think so. We'll save that CP. That might be important later. All right, end of the shooting. It went as expected, except for the damn spider. It always does spider things. Hellblaster split fire 2 guys and a smite. We're able to pick up those 3 bikes there. The other 3 guys, -1 to hit. I went ahead and never re-roll trying to fish, but I did. I overheated. 1 guy died. But I ended up killing all the bikes between them, Guilliman, and 1 grav shot. So that killed them. I shot at some immortals and picked up a couple of them. And he grew back. And then, of course, I can't wound a spider to save my life. So it's still alive. But going to the score, I did pick up 15 on the primary. I had failed morale, so I did not kill the vehicle. So I only get 2 on Oath. But I did get direct assault and stranglehold. So going into turn 4... And I stopped him from getting grind because I killed 2 things? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So going in turn 4.
All right. You guys will probably notice that I didn't get to talk during his turn. That's the sort of discrimination that Xenos players face in this Ultra household. But you'll notice that he has run out of things to move into my area of dominance, and that I have a stranglehold on the section of the board that he dares not penetrate. What we're going to do this turn is destroy effortlessly his Devastator Squad and then mock him such that on his turn he comes out and leaves his bodyguards and loses his characters. He may be moving up in score, but you'll notice that both Necron characters are still alive. Necron characters are the only ones, as everyone who has read Necron lore knows, who are truly conscious, and as a consequence, the actual casualty ratio of this battle is like many, many dead conscious Ultramarines to 0 dead Necrons. This is not a battle, this is pest control. We are wiping them out. As far as the game score goes, that might not be going my way at this time, but you know if this game went for infinity turns, eventually these 2 guns would annihilate him from beyond his ability to fight back. This game ends with Roboute calling for an airdrop to pick his ass up from behind the building he's cowering behind, like a coward. Alright, so I effortlessly annihilated that squad, just absolutely wiped them off the face of the earth, leaving me in a position that some might call dominant, which is to say full 2/5 of the board are uncontestedly mine. I have once again purged 2 quarters, and I will be accepting his surrender when the loss of Roboute's valiant sons drives him to the depths of despair. In the meantime, they're just targets moving forward within the range of my Canoptic Doomstalkers, begging to die.
All right, turn 4 shooting is about to begin. These infiltrators that I've basically wasted all game ran up. They're just stalking around, thinking they're going to be useful, but they're really not. The Hellblasters ran. They hit a mighty 6, so they ran 13. Apothecary grew that guy back that overheated, so they're in line to shoot this stalker here. We got the Chaplain making a suicide run. Maybe we can get rid of some guys here. We put +1 to wound from his litany onto Guilliman. Let's do some shooting. Maybe we can get rid of that stupid spider. Yeah, we'll be back. All right, shooting has happened. Hellblasters. I wasn't like paying attention. One guy there couldn't see the stupid spider. I got a lot of hits. He was down to 4 wounds, and I hit him with 2-3 damage hits from my Sergeant Master Craft, and he made both 5 pluses. He didn't have an CP to buff it, so he's just taking 5s, but he hit both of them, so he's still alive with 4 wounds. So now the Chaplain is coming in hot. I totally didn't realize, or I forgot. He's got a special rule with this guy. If he's within 6, he can overwatch, so there was a little tense moment, but he flubbed the overwatch, so I'm still alive. I'm coming in hot. He's got 2 hits to get through with his 2 damage stick to get those 4 wounds. Can he kill him? So we are rolling it. 5 attacks. We're going to put it on the camera here. I got to get the spider. It's all about killing the spider. Hitting on 2s, re-rolling for Guilliman. 2 1s. That's what he always does. Oh, no. Strength 6, so we need 4s. 2. He's got to get 2 through. He's got to make one of these. These are -2 because it's Assault Doctrine.
5 up invulnerable saves coming up.
No CP. He's got to make them both.
No good.
He's only got to make 1, actually. Come on. No! Oh, he goes down! Does he blow up?
Does it blow up? It does not.
Yes! Chaplain survives, and he kills it. Yay, Chaplain! Let me count the score. We'll be back. All right, end of Walter shooting. He wanted retribution, but the Hellblaster Sergeant is left standing with 1 wound. He shot a couple big guns at the Chaplain. He's holding on with dear life with 2 wounds, but now he's charged with his Lord, 2 Immortals, and this guy, which we have no idea what its attack's going to do. But we're going to roll the Immortal Lord first and see if he can do the business. Let's see it, Walter. Can you get the Chaplain?
2s to hit.
I got no CP. Oh, 3 1s. He spent his last CP on a really bad thing. Toughness 5.
I'm strength 7, so 3s to wound.
Give me a 2. Oh, 1.
Wait. I have the Warlord trait, Immortal Fury, or Madness for Eternal Fury, some sort of Fury, which causes me to reroll all melee combat wounds.
Another 1! Oh, if only I could interrupt.
All right.
Oh, no.
The Immortals will finish this business by slapping him to death. They can hit.
2 hits.
But they're only strength 4, so they need 5s. 1 wound.
1 wound. 3 up save. Oh,
you
he's
can see
still
that when he
alive.
rolls 1 dice, it isn't a 1. This is cheating.
That way we come back, we have to look at what the stupid things rules are. All right, so it's got 3 attacks hitting on 4s.
Yep.
Strength 6 minus nothing stick.
Yep.
He's bopping with his leg. 3 up save. He makes it.
This guy.
Who does the Chaplain want to punch right now? I think we got to go for the Lord, right? It's not really worth it, but like we're doing it. You charged me. Got 5 attacks. Go, Chaplain, go. Go, Chaplain, go. No rerolls here. We're just getting it. Hitting on 2s.
Oh, you
1
didn't
miss.
3 times. What are the
Toughness
odds?
6 on the 3s.
I'm just tough 5.
I mean, strength 6, tough 5. Yeah, 3s on the Lord. 2. -1. Too bad we don't have Fury.
4 plus invulnerable save.
2 damage. Oh. 2 damage. Oh, he's still alive with 1 wound. The Chaplain doing work. Oh. Glorious Chaplain.
This is what we call a false sense of security. You're lulled into one.
Then we're going to come back with the Ultramarines after the cackling stops. Last hurrah. The Infiltrators finally make it to relevance. They're going to get direct assault on the last turn. We've ran everyone up. This Chaplain has used my last CP to fall back and re-engage. So that combined with the Apothecary advancing, he's healed back up to 5. You know what he's going to do? He's going to shoot that 1 wound guy, and then he's going to charge in. We threw a smite down. Just did 1 wound. We cast a Veil of Time so Guilliman can reroll his charge since I'd have no more CP. And then we grew a Hellblaster back so we can shoot somebody. So let's go to work, and then we'll come back after the charge phase. Or maybe when we charge, we'll do that. All right, here we are. When the dust settled, I needed Veil of Time. It was well played because I flubbed the 6-inch charge, but I made it on the reroll. The Victrix guard failed it. The Chaplain made it. We were going in hot. We killed the Lord in shooting. We killed the Hellblaster split fire, did 6 wounds here, and killed the 2 guys. So he's only got 5 wounds left here. And then, lo and behold, these guys have been popping off 5 and 6 shots all game, except when they got 4 things of Overwatch, they were only 1 shot each every time. I got everyone that charged had to take Overwatch from both of them. It was super scary, but He didn't roll any wounds, so it's fantastic. So let's go fight. Let's do Guilliman first. How much damage did they do when they explode?
D3, I think.
Okay, so I can't die, is what you're saying.
Well,
I need force wound you. Is it still like a normal vehicle?
yep. No, it's not living metal.
Oh, not living metal. I'll use my sword then.
Sorry, it's not quantum shield.
Quantum shield, yeah. Here we hit on the 2s. Guilliman himself. And then strength 8, so looking for 3s. 6s are extra. Alright, we got 1 6 and then 5 invulnerables.
Here comes 5 invulnerable saves right in front of the camera.
4 ups. Oh, he masses 1. That's 3 damage. I gotta hit 2 wounds on this D3. 3 wounds. It goes down.
Weird surprise. All right, let's see if it explodes on a 5+, because these things are unstable.
No, it's not unstable. Gilliman's Chaplain did half.
Falls quietly.
Oh, does a Chaplain get 2 for 2? He's killed 2 characters. He's gonna do more.
No way. This Cryptek is educated in battle.
That Cryptek has single-handedly with his relic gun killed half of my Marines. It's like unbelievable. Now he deserves to pay. What's his toughness?
4.
Oh yeah.
He's got 4 apart.
2s. Guilliman. Or his litany. Oh, look at all those 6s. I could be exploding if I was Space Wolves. Strength 6, 3s. 3, but these are -2. He's only got 2 wounds.
Yep. Well, I have a 4-up armor, so -2 leaves me the 6-up save.
He's got to hit a 6 to stay alive.
One at a time. Didn't do it that time, but that was just a warm-up time. This is when
Get
it
him.
happens.
Get him, Chaplain. Yeah, I got him on a 1. That's what he deserves.
I really could get some cooperation out of these guys.
Get out of here. Oh, it's so
You
good.
know he would survive. He will be resurrected on the tomb ship as I begin the process of taking control of this game back with my last tank, which on turn 6 would annihilate all of these guys who have finally been persuaded to show themselves. So
I'll calculate the final score, but
his score is nonsense, because the real score is that he was unable to defeat this prince of a vessel, an invincible bulwark of Necron supremacy, which, having destroyed countless Space Marines, is survivor of the game. And morally, the victory is mine, which is the only victory that actually matters. We're not gonna even hear what the real victory was. It was probably also mine. No way to know. It's just important to notice that I have successfully purged him out of this quarter completely, and this quarter here. So, as we finish the game, just note that my strategies were all achieved in the end. This is all lies. Lies.
The Necrons are trying to rewrite history, as they are wont to do. Picked up 15 on the final turn for full 45. He picked up 10 on his turn, so he's just 35. We got the full oath, all the direct assault. We strangled every single time. I stopped him on that last turn for purging. Thanks, Apothecary. 0 for grind. He could never grind me, and then he could never get in my zone for the last rod. 20 on the secondary is 35. That gives him a max score of 90 for me and a 55 for the Necrons.
It sounds like someone isn't giving me my painted points, which he should be giving me, for actually being a hobbyist who paints my models, unlike a certain guy we all know. So for 100 paint points, I'm leading him by
I see all painted models on the table here.
because the other one's got murdered.
Well, that's Walter for the Necrons. Thomas with the Ultramarines. I'm back.
And in terms of being back, I think you can all agree the Necrons will be back. Next time, there'll be more obelisks.
More obelisks. Well, this is us signing off from Tabletop Life. Hope you enjoyed this game as much as I did. Hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.